We did receive a phone call from City Council President Brian Gomes. He's going to join us right now. Councilor, good morning. Welcome to Brian's Beat.
Good morning, Brian, and thank you for the opportunity. I just want to clarify a couple of things that I've overheard in the past 20 minutes or so. First of all, about the grandstanding. We're not grandstanding. We've done this over and over again. For those that call you up giving you misinformation about this is the first time that we're standing up against something like this. If it was in another neighborhood, we wouldn't stand up. Let me tell you how many neighborhoods we've stood up on. Charlotte Avenue, Pleasant Street, far south end, South Front Street, just to name a few of them. This is not a grandstand by anyone. I'm going to stand up for the City Council as the President of City Council. Mr. Sheldon also said to you that he felt that he didn't have an opportunity to speak to the City Council. We brought him in. He had every opportunity to speak to us as long as he wanted, to explain whatever he wanted to do. He had the opportunity. So that is a mistruth that he's saying to you, being sitting there right now.
Okay, Councilor, first of all, I will agree with you. Certainly, I have seen, at least through the newspapers, the actions that the council has taken in regards to some of these other homes that you're talking about. In this particular case, though, there aren't any services being offered. Let me stop. Okay, you know that part. You heard it from Stephen Sheldon. So what is your reasoning? There doesn't seem to be any rules, regulations.
I'm protecting the history of the city, the integrity of the neighborhood, an economic engine. This is where the history all started. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. It seems like nobody gets what we're really saying. It's not that we're against what Mr. Sheldon's doing or what he tries to bring to the city. He's been at it for 6 months, by the way. He told us that the other night. We're not going to be the test tube for anybody in the city of New Bedford, and I won't allow that. Second of all, I was saying that we want to provide them services. This is just not the right fit. If it's not the right fit, you don't put it there.
Would you prefer market rent where people aren't necessarily sober living there?
Let's not change the subject.
That is the subject. He wants to bring in sober people. He wants a house with sober people. He wants a house with sober people.
No guarantee.
There's no guarantee in life.
That's true.
But is there any zoning that he is breaking here?
He's going to run into, and I know he's sat there telling you about taking us to court. He's got to get through the zoning, and I don't know what he'll be taking us to court on, but that's quite. We've been here and done that before, so we'll do whatever anybody's coaching him to do or whatever.
Fair enough.
Sheldon, I want Mr. Sheldon also to know that he lost his opportunity after what he did today to speak with me in privacy. I was giving him that opportunity to sit down and listen to him, but what he did today, he doesn't get that anymore. We'll continue to do what we have to do to protect my city and the citizens of the city. This is not, again, against the sober house or providing any services. This is about a not good fit, and when it doesn't fit, you don't wear it.
Fair enough. Thank you, Counselor. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. Well, Stephen Sheldon, you got to hear from the council president. I wish I could have found out exactly what zoning that you may be violating, and I think you would like to know that too. Your comments on what you just heard.
I did get a chance to speak, but I didn't get a chance to speak at a number of opportunities. One is they basically held a secret meeting a week before this or 2 weeks before this with people in the neighborhood. I was not invited to that by the city council. That's where this started. So if property owners have an even starting place, that wasn't it. They also let every neighbor stand up and say many things that weren't factual. I did not have a chance to respond to them. I also felt that I was overrode by a number of councilors without a chance to respond. But I was given a chance to respond, and I think I stated that clearly previously. As far as him not speaking to me, it seems an odd position to take for a city councilor.
City council president.
Particularly.
508-996-0500. Thank you for your patience. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Mr. Shelton, I think he's doing a good thing. And I'd just like to say to the to the clueless city council that this is the United States of America and not communist China.
Ooh.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the call. Hello.
Hi. I hope everyone's paying attention, or at least to what Mr. Gomes just said, that basically he's taking any talks off the table, he's taking his ball and going home, and that New Bedford, yet again, will be going to court and will be paying more and more fees and taxes. So thank you, Mr. Gomes, for being so... just Mr. Gomes.
Would you like to say anything to our guest, Mr. Sheldon? No, I guess not. Wow. What do you think of these calls before I take this next caller?
They seem to support the House in general, and I think it's a worthy thing to support.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. How you doing?
Excellent. You?
All right. Mr. Sheldon, the question seems to be one of process, whether one is for or against it. I'm generally familiar with the neighborhood, but if there is a zoning issue or a zoning change needed or required for you to do what you're going to do, notwithstanding the benefits or the negatives that may involve, the city has the right to go through that process, to address things like, is there enough parking spaces, if the zoning requirement changed from a mixed-use residential to a total residential and what that means. I think the city has a position there. If you're unaware of the zoning piece, then certainly process-wise, as an American, you can go before the zoning board if that's required and make the case there. What I seem to see is that there was a public hearing regarding this prior to the necessity of changing zoning laws for what you propose to do, and that's normal course. And certainly, as an American, if there is a zoning requirement, you go before the zoning board and appeal your case. That's the way I'm looking at it.
I agree. Absolutely.
Okay, so would you know offhand what the zoning of that building was when you acquired it?
I do. It's residentially zoned.
It's residentially zoned. So then there is probably no need for a zoning change. If it's zoned residential, they may be able to put a cap on the number of folks you have in there, just like any other housing piece, and maybe that would require some type of variance. If there's enough parking, is there enough parking for the number of people you're going to put in there?
But parking doesn't, it's my belief that parking isn't an issue in terms of a residential zone. So,
but that depends, because there are provisions. If you're servicing a certain number of people, a certain number of parking spaces is required.
It's true, and I don't know it specifically, but in terms of the number of people who I am proposing and the number of people who were in the house, the use apparently is less, not more. There was 7 bedrooms, a doctor's, and a psychiatrist's office.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call. Only because of time. Thanks for the call. I do appreciate it. I am going to squeeze in a couple others before the commercial, so let's go here. Hey, hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Excellent. You're on with Steve Sheldon.
I was at that meeting, and I was standing next to Mr. Gomes when your guest said to him, let's get together and meet. And Mr. Gomes says, yes, I can meet you on this day or that day. So, let's put that to bed, because I was standing with Mr. Gomes at that point when he approached him and said, let's meet. Mr. Gomes says, I can meet in this, and this. Second thing, what I don't understand is that, you mean in the West End, I can set up a boarding house without any reservations?
No, not a boarding house. It isn't a boarding house.
Okay, explain to me, if you have 8 people or more living that are not related in one facility, you tell me that's not a rooming house, a boarding house?
It's not a boarding house. No, it's a residential rental. It's a single-family house, and
it's a single-family house with a number of people who are not related living in a house.
So it's controlled by a number of different things. But if you wanted to look up the SJC ruling on City of Worcester versus College Hill, the difference between a lodging house or a boarding house is the control of the house.
I'm just a person of New Bedford. I'm not an attorney.
No, but that's why I'm happy to give you.
You're doing, and I don't think it's right. You're going to have 8 people there and say they have 8 cars. I don't know where you're going to put them, but I'll let you have someone else talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to just say,
you know what? Go ahead and say your piece. I'm going to go into a break. I'm also going to ask if you will stay over after the news.
Sure, happy to. Just very quickly, the number of people are no more in that house than was there prior to me coming in, nor any more than my neighbors. So the use is not greater.
I'm going to take a couple of calls, starting with this one right here. Hello.
Same, Brian Gomes.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Next, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Excellent, you.
Very good. I have a question. I came into this radio show a little bit late, I guess. What is the address of this house?
49 Hawthorn Street.
Proposed?
49 Hawthorn Street.
Okay. That's down near the Orchard Street area?
Irving and Hawthorne.
Okay.
Okay.
My first question on that is, well, my first statement is, it sounds like it's a not in my backyard type of situation that people are complaining about. And I'm just wondering if it has anything to do with where our senator lives. Isn't it like right in his neighborhood?
Got me.
Okay,
I thought Montigny lived in Dartmouth, but I could be wrong.
He doesn't. He lives right on Hawthorn Street.
Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
And I was waiting for this to come up because it was in the newspaper about they were thinking of putting this in, I guess. And I was wondering when it was going to happen that the complaints were going to come in. But it sounds like a clear case of not in my backyard politics, and the people that are pulling the strings are talking to the city.
Thank you.
They have no problem putting these places down in the South Central and the up in the North End where Gomes was talking about. But when it's right there in the high class neighborhood of super big homes, it doesn't sound like it will. It's not a fit. Well, that sounds like a discrimination thing to me.
Thank you for your call. I do appreciate it. Let's try one more before the news. Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. Got a question for Mr. Sheldon?
Sure. Now, this ain't nothing like to do with anything with like a halfway house, does it?
It isn't. It is not a halfway house.
No, because I know on the corner of Union and Ash Street, they got something like I don't know if it's a silver house or a halfway house or something like that, but that didn't seem to be a big problem or issue then.
Different neighborhood.
Yeah, but what 2 blocks south?
Different neighborhood, different ward, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Might be wrong about that.
But the thing is, it's 2 blocks south, that's all.
I know. Look. You're going to kind of preach to the choir over here. I know what you're saying, but they're making they're not talking about Ash and Union because that's pretty close to the jail. They are talking about Hawthorne and Irving.
I understand that, but I feel it's bad that this guy's trying to do something good, and now because it's 2 blocks south from Ash Street or Union, he's got to give him a running around, and now they're going to try and block it. Wow. And then Mr. Gomes comes on, and he sounds like he's going after the guy personally, like it's a personal problem.
Could be. Thanks for the call. I do appreciate it.